half bump.
So as you guys are leaving, some of you can ride on the wagons. There's also several donkeys that are pulling carts. Most of the gnomes have piled into the wagons and stuff. They're not going too fast that you can't just walk along. But the path they're going on looks like it's been it's definitely not paved. It's pretty rugged. It's pretty kind of jungly, muddy nastiness, but it looks like they've been using it often to go back and forth from the dig to the docks. So it's kind of slow going, but it's faster than if you were trekking through the jungle without having everything being cut out of your way already. You guys are kind of going steadily north at this point. I've got your handy dandy party token here. Yeah, it's just kind of like a beaten down jungle path. So it's good enough for the carts and the mules and the donkeys to go on, but it's I don't know, picture like a Amazon mining road kind of deal without having the big tractors and stuff to smooth it out. So you guys are steadily going north, and they're going towards the mountains that you can see off in the distance whenever the canopy kind of opens up.
Each hex was how many miles? Did we ask that before?
Yeah, so each hex is a quarter of a mile.
Okay.
And if you use the ruler, it should do it for you, I believe. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so four for a mile then.
Yeah.
Got it. And when we got off, was it this this hex here is the one that is counting where we got off, or which one were you using?
Correct.
This one?
Yeah.
This one.
Either one of those is close enough.
Cool. How about weather, time of day?
Time of day, you guys, well, let's see. You guys basically took about 2 or 3 hours to get stuff shipped over from the Mare's Tail. So by that time, it was probably about 3 in the afternoon. So now it's going on 4 or 5. They're trying to make camp by nightfall. They do not want to be out at night without being at their camp. Okay, so how are you guys going? Kind of. Well, for this, no, let's do that later.
Yeah, I think I was sitting in the wagon with the main foreman dude.
Phineas.
Yeah, Phineas. And then I wasn't sure how many wagons there were total.
There had already been several wagons that went off with supplies while you guys were still bringing back and forth more. So with this final thing going up, there's only 2.
Okay.
So it's going to take roughly about 2 hours to get to the camp. 2.5 hours. Every once in a while, you're going to have to help get out and lug some stuff over some major ruts, but it's pretty consistent going.
Okay.
And nothing happens on the trip other than you guys get to see some of the jungle fauna. Or also anything you want to talk about on while you guys are going, or wait till you guys get there?
Yeah, I feel like I would be just trying to stay alert, make sure we don't get ambushed on the way or something. I don't know where
And you
the
do
other guys
notice
are.
that it's pretty the heat's pretty oppressive down at this latitude, and but it does help to be kind of out of the sun because of the canopy, but it's still kind of very humid, very very uncomfortable.
It's still stinking jungle.
Little stinking jungle. Shadhu is in full fur.
I strike up a conversation with a gnome that's driving the cart I'm in, and I'm like, so is it always this horrible around here? Or is this just like a one-time deal?
What do you mean by horrible? This is exciting.
I mean, you know. Well, I mean, are we going to be having zombie crab every day, or is that just a stay away from the coast type of deal?
Well, to be honest, that's the first crab I've ever seen. Zombies, we've seen a few, but the dig's well protected. No worries there.
I'll take your word for it, buddy. Zombies. Okay, you know. How many zombies have we seen?
Seen? Dozens?
Dozens. Oh, yeah. And how do you guys usually deal with those zombies?
Oh, those are our clockworks take care of those. Rarely do we have to deal with them on the path or at the docks. That's actually one of the first times we've been attacked at the docks since we arrived.
Oh. And how long did you say you've been here, buddy?
Oh,
Buddy.
I think I'm on my second rotation. This is at least 6 months.
Oh, your second rotation. Do you guys come in and out of the docks normal a lot?
Oh yes, I'm talking about rotation off the island. I actually got to go home for at least 2 weeks. Some
2
good
weeks.
R&R.
Oh, 2 weeks. Have a lovely person waiting back for you at home, or?
Oh yes, many.
Oh.
And the real ones too. They're just not all clockwork. I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that.
Once you
Happy to
go
hear
clock,
that.
you don't go back.
Exactly.
And I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Dozer.
It's nice to meet you, Tozer.
Dozer.
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 Great to meet you, buddy.
I doze sometime.
How I feel that. Do you mind if I just take a doze back here, or?
Go right ahead. Doze anytime.
All right. If you need me, I'll be back here, just dozing away.
Is that how he got his name, Dozer?
Yep. That and he was a huge Fraggle Rock fan.
Yeah, that's what
Dude,
popped
I
into
was
mind.
so.
I'm still waiting to meet Bucket.
Bucket.
Traveling Matt.
Nice.
Oh man, that brings back so many memories. We can call Mur PB or Mur Red for the nose.
Nice. But she's the size of a gourd.
It kind of looked like a Gorg too.
Now Chad's chiming in. Lots of clockwork girls. You wouldn't know them. They're in Canada. Or I mean, everyone. Oh my god.
All right, so you guys continue on. As you start nearing the dig, you're starting to notice that the jungle and stuff here has been beaten down with more regularity. And as you start coming into this clearing that's fairly near the mountains, you're starting to get up in elevation, but it hasn't gotten too steep yet. You open up into this area where you can see a ton of the trees have been knocked down. You can see some smoke and stuff rising from off in the distance. And as you open up into this clearing, you're starting to see some shacks, some almost looks like almost everything's built out of the local wood and that kind of stuff. But you also see a very large excavation pit. And all these shacks and stuff are kind of on the outskirts of it.
This seems like a perfect base of operations for the company. Let's go home.
Done.
Yeah, how defensible does it look?
Horribly defensible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically just a section of jungle that's had all the trees knocked down.
No walls.
No walls.
Punji sticks. No trenches. No nothing.
No, nothing like that. Kind of like a just camp, a ramshackly set up camp out in the jungle. You do see as you start nearing it more, there are several large clockwork golems that are standing around and look to be standing at attention facing out into the jungle.
Yeah, I'll turn to Phineas and ask, how do your guardians work? How do they know to activate?
Oh, well, it's funny you should say that. When we get near, we will have to have you all processed. Very quick.
Excuse me?
It just takes a quick scan from the clockwork to make sure you're on the friendly list, so we'll say.
Okay.
So like most of the ride, Zardan was just singing made up Zardan type songs. But as soon as, Clockwork Golems comes into the conversation, he's like, can barely keep himself in the wagon. It's just like, just screw this, I'll run and type thing. But he knows better because he just heard activate, scanned, friendly list. So he's just like taking notes in his head.
Oh, I had that encounter all set up. Damn it. So as you guys do approach, they pull up. He starts yelling at the gnomes to start unloading, and he motions you over to one of the standing clockwork. And these things are probably about 8 feet tall. Tons of different metal plates on them, gears everywhere, kind of like glass orbs in different spots that look like they should be eyes or
Are they still kind of
sensors.
humanoid? Like 2 arms, 2 legs?
Yeah, they're still humanoid. And some of them look to be not uniform in their parts. Some of them have some huge black enamel armor pieces on them and stuff that definitely don't match the brass and silver that matches some of the other pieces.
Would that kind of remind of, was it me and Murr who was escorting black pieces of armor somewhere?
It does indeed.
Hmm.
Looks very similar to that black enamel armor.
And do the gnomes pay a contract to the company, or are we paying them to?
The
to use
gnomes
their
are
area?
under contract with the company,
Oh, okay.
so that they pay the company to supply them with goods, and also for an exclusive right to the trade of these artifacts coming off this location.
Yeah, so I'll ask, since we got a little moment here, ask Phineas. So, what are these artifacts you're digging up? Are they from a lost civilization? Are they from a temple? Are they from something else?
He's all like, "Oh, yes, yes. I can explain everything. I would love to. Do you have 3 hours?"
I don't, but Zardan loves to hear all that stuff. He'll condense all that down for us, but
He goes, "Great, great. I can always use help for anyone interested. Many text, many translations, many items that we're still trying to catalog. Of course, everything goes through the company.
of course.
We're just doing it for knowledge's sake and the profit, of course."
Right. Do you know how old these artifacts are?
Yes. Most of these we've traced to the Aussie civilization, which not many people are aware of, which is why it's drives such a high price right now. I believe the Aussie are from. Have you heard of Katashaka?
I don't know if I would have.
If not, anyways, I'm sure you've heard of Mazteca.
Yes. A book or two I've read.
So to the south of that is rumored to be Katashaka. I believe the Azi were from there. This location dates at least several thousand years ago. As many of the artifacts we have found are, we've dated it to that time, based on their condition, of course, and what we can determine from the language left.
All right. Well, I'll kind of switch the conversation at some point, and just ask. Once we're unloaded, do we have a place where we can, like a tent or a cabin or something that we can take over for
He
our
says,
stay?
yeah. He says we have many tents, multiple person tents that you can have that are on the outskirts. We've had larger contingencies of people here at one time. But anyways, now we're down to we've got room.
Okay.
So anyways, just everyone stand here. He directs the clockwork to come approach each one of you. And it does some kind of whirling and scanning as it, he says, "Please don't move."
And I look directly at Zardan. He's
give a
talking
big,
to you.
Big yellow toothy goblin grin.
This is where
It
you get
slowly
your mugshot.
kind of bends down. Yep. You hear many chick, 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 chick.
The whole
And-
time I'm taking its head apart in my mind, you know, like as if it was a drawing, and I'm just kind of pulling pieces apart in my brain on how to like, ooh, you know.
Yeah. Where does that wire, where does that gear go?
Mhm.
So Phineas sees that you're very anxious. He goes, no worry. We'll have plenty to talk about, you and me, I can tell." So as it goes through, the golems scan each one of you. Only one of them does it, and then it just kind of sits up, and you see little gems on its skull blinking, and then it turns around and proceeds to walk away. And as you look more about the thing, there are several tents around. There's some large. Well, here, let's see. I guess I can move you guys to the map just to kind of show you, give you a better idea.
By the way, this map is, I just need to say again, gorgeous. Amazing job,
Thanks,
dude.
man. It took me so long. I'm just like, I'm glad it's working. All right, so this is going to... Unfortunately, right now, I don't have on this map any of the guardians here.
How many are when we're looking around, how many guardians do we see?
5. and they're kind of out. They won't be on this map because they're further out, and this map just shows the center excavated section. There are some more buildings and other stuff around it, but this will give you an idea of there's a tent right to the west that they're going to let you guys use. Did everybody get on that map fine?
Yeah, it's loading in.
It dumped in teeny tiny.
It's a big hole.
Yeah, so this excavation you can see is fairly deep. It's probably a good 20 feet down, and it's excavated in a big, almost like a big bowl. Up in that northern east section is where there's a ton of dirt, and that big contraption on the north is a huge steam shovel.
Again.
It's Christmas early for Zardan.
Oh, easily. I am a goblin nerd, so this is like the place to be.
So yeah, they'll let you basically base yourselves out of any of these tents over here.
On the
Should
west, you said?
Yeah, it should sleep 4 comfortably.
Yeah, we'll I'll grab my gear and start heading towards one of those. Maybe keep an eye out to see if I can keep a count, just a rough estimate of how many gnomes are running around.
Yeah, at any one time you see probably between 4 and 8 different gnomes running around doing various stuff, plus the golems.
When Zardan sees Ward, gather his gear and start walking, he falls in, step like behind him, hobgoblin precision.
As long as you don't sing the Oompa Loompa song. With
Halloween last year, Oompa Loompa costume.
I stop one of the a different gnome. I make sure it's not Dozer, and I just put I bend down and I take a hold of its shoulder for a second. I'm like, hey, can I bother you for a second?
Sure. What's up?
I'm like, where do you guys usually get your grub from around here?
Well, we have tons of rations that are provided by the illustrious company, of course, that you brought in.
Of course.
Occasionally we catch food here, but sometimes it's not good for eating.
You mean a little bit undead, usually?
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell until we get it. So we usually stick to the rations just in case.
Ah, smart decision. And where do you guys usually keep these rations?
Are you hungry?
I mean, it was a long battle on the beach there.
Well, Krasden over in the corner there can cook you up anything you'd like. He's our resident chef.
Oh,
And he
Krasden.
points across the dig at the butchery over there.
I was wondering what that was down there.
Yeah, that's not bumps. That's
We're having bump stew.
I say, oh, thank you so much. I say, thank you so much. Oh snap! I'm so sorry. I forgot to catch your name.
oh, LeBron. Sorry, I always put an R in there for some reason.
Sort of odd. Oh, it's nice meeting you, Laban, and thanks for showing me where the rations are.
Most welcome.
And I head over to the group, trying to and I walk into whatever tent they go into and just drop my stuff somewhere random on one of the beds. I'm sure, cots.
One of the cots. Okay. Yeah, you can see that the gnomes are the gnomes that were here working are kind of since we're getting closer to 6, 7, everything's winding down. The steam shovel has ceased to operate, even though it's still steaming. And they've kind of they're packing stuff in for the night, and you can tell that the cooks and stuff are getting stuff ready to have a meal. So they're getting prepared. So Phineas, of course, has on the way here invited you guys to dine with them anytime you guys were in camp.
All right. Has everybody come to the tent at that point?
I was right behind you.
How about our other 2 companions?
Murr said that he threw down his stuff already on a cot. Shadhu's the only one unaccounted for.
Shadhu. Oh, I see something lighting up, but I'm not hearing you. Well, we can pretend he's there. Yeah, so I guess I'll just address you guys, and I'll be like, we obviously want to get our mission over as soon as possible, but maybe if you are around tonight, keep your eyes open and look for anything the company might be interested in, anything out of place. But we'll probably leave early in the morning and head out. But the evening is yours to do as you wish.
What's the rush? We have 2 months. We're gonna be stuck here. Might as well see what the lay of the land is around here. Unless you're eager to go and be chomped on by some zombie animals, people, and who knows what else is out there.
Yeah, he wipes all the sweat off his forehead and like his shirt that's soaked through. And he's like, the sooner we can get off of this sauna island, the better.
I mean, we're stuck here for 2 months.
No, I'm hoping it's going to take us less time to find a place to set up base.
And
Well, we don't have a ride back.
So Zardan, like, off with the armor, just down to goblin loincloth, and he's, like, stringing his belts back on, and he's all like,
At some point, I'll take a look at their books. Make sure they're up to snuff. You never know when they'll try to cheat us.
Gnomes are tricksy like that.
I agree.
They're tricksy. All right. Well, good talk. And I head out and I go see a man about some rations. I know about some rations.
A no man.
All right. Well, you can hear the dinner bell starting to ring, and the gnomes are starting to gather around the various big. They have some big tables and stuff that they've laid out for their communal fooding.
And we took this tent down here, right? I just moved
Correct.
my token to it. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna. I think as we rode into camp, I kept the hawk on my shoulder probably the most of the time. Set all our stuff up, and then as I come back out, I'll just have him fly up and tell him, let me know if danger approaches, and let him just kind of wing out and go find food or hang out above the camp.
Okay.
I make sure to talk to every gnome that I see around me that I'm waiting in line with. I make sure to talk. I'm like, and you are.
This is hashtag gather all the side quests.
This is hashtag I'm 7 foot tall. These guys are
And you're like
don't
looking
even with
down.
my knees.
Do you hold them in your hand, like in front of you?
So you're introducing to all the different gnomes Tamal, Jacoby, Grimwald, all the different gnomes around.
Yeah, just getting to talk to him. I'll even go one further. I'll go sit at one of their tables, and I'll just make small talk with them, get to know about them, and try and garner as much information about what they're doing, what they found, and what they need help with.
All right. So
Networking.
you're networking. You can tell that Grinwald is very excited by you because he thinks that you can help repair some of the sections of the steam shovel that are fairly hard for them to reach just because of your height and stuff, and they're excited to have, if you're willing to help, they'll take it. And you also, they kind of talk freely about what's going on at the dig. There's it almost seems that over dinner is when the group of gnomes kind of like go over everything they've found, and Phineas is kind of he's kind of taking it all in as they're almost reporting back to him. And you'll see him every once in a while pull out like a little notebook and write something down, even though he's, eating at the same time. And some of the exciting discoveries of today was they unearthed a exquisite longsword in perfect condition, as well as a several pieces of an armor set that they refer to them as the blacks when they're talking about the black enamel. The black enameled armor, and Phineas is busy kind of, you can hear him calculating, how much will that fetch at Waterdeep, and he's kind of doing calculations on profit at the same time for everything they're bringing up. But at the same time, they do seem to have some sort of scientific endeavor. They are archaeologists at heart, even though they're profiteering by it.
And the last thing I'll fish around for in this conversation will be what other, if this is the only interesting place they've dug around and searched, or is this just one of many sites they have?
So Phineas says, well, maybe that's where you guys can come in. This is the site that we have first discovered and started excavating. I believe, based on the inscriptions of the stela, and he points back, and there's a huge kind of rock behind the steam shovel that you didn't quite notice until now, that looks almost made out of obsidian. And to you, it's from the section you've seen now, it looks kind of like a square, but as you take a closer look, it's actually, you're seeing just the end of something that's laying on the ground that's very long. And he says, from the stela, we can tell that this was probably just one of many battlefields that took place on the island between the Gel and the Talazi. So I suspect there are more locations, and if you come along any of them, I'd be very excited to hear what you find. And actually, I will give you some parchment and rubbing paper, and if you can get any inscriptions off anything else you see, I would be I'd even pay for it, actually.
Oh, well, that's extremely kind of you.
But of course, locations need to be provided. Of course, everything will go through the company, but our contract is right of first dig.
Of course, of course. Let's see, what else can I do to buy Logan some time? And I say, oh, so you work out of Waterdeep, right, Phineas?
No, we work out of well, I'm from Lantan previously, but we work out of Katla. Athkatla. I can't even say these words anymore. We
Alcala.
just I know that the market for Aussie artifacts is most profitable in Waterdeep currently. You know, further
Alcala.
away, of course.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah. So you guys don't do business out of Alcala very much.
Only through the
Mostly just-
company. Only through the company, of course. The
Of
company
course.
the company supplies all we need. Good
As-
contract.
Yeah, as they always will. So have you guys only been pulling up these armor pieces and weapons, or have you found anything else of interest down there?
Many interesting things. One of the most valuable pieces we got was a staff, a gem encrusted staff.
Oh.
We made a great profit on that one. Many other interesting items. Almost every type of weapon you can think of, we pulled out it in one state or another.
Are you
Mm.
checking these items for magic?
Of course, those are the most profitable.
What did the
Is that
staff
local?
do?
I'm not sure I'm allowed to disclose that. It went through company, of course.
He gives him a look like, "Oh, I will stab you in your sleep," but he doesn't say anything.
Can I ask, is that local? Do you guys identify these items here, or is that outsourced?
That is usually identified here. I have the ability to do certain identification from within my background, of course.
Oh. Well, that's useful.
Yes, it's how I located this area to begin with.
You guys are down in that bottom corner talking right now, I assume.
Wherever the tables are, yeah.
The dining tent or whatever.
Is that bottom right corner, Teagrey?
Yeah, or actually it could be this table up here that's closer to the... They try to keep their food prep area away from their food service area. So I would say it's between the two major tents over here.
I'm not seeing a
Over there?
ping. Oh, okay.
Up there?
Yeah,
Oh.
Okay.
we got that table over there.
Oh, okay.
Gnome pile.
They're ganging up on you, Zardan.
Gnomes on the wire.
They've surrounded you.
Probably the first time in a long time Zardan's been around people his size.
Just waiting for the chance to start bossing people around.
He goes, would you like to see some of them? He's very interested in showing off his stuff.
Oh,
Well, if you're offering, of course.
He goes, I'll be right back. So he runs into one of the shacks further off and comes scurrying back. And he's brought the longsword that they found earlier today. And he lays it on the table, and he's got a bunch of parchment with him, just a big stack of just different size papers that are in his arm, and he throws them out on the thing, and he says, now see this inscription? This is Aziz. And he starts to try to like look at his papers to see, find some of the different stuff. And this blade it's kind of got a black enameled handle that's inlaid with some gems of some type, and kind of a curved pommel on it, and a very big blade that goes out in a long sword, and it kind of fans out at the tip, and then comes to I'm sorry, kind of fans out towards the end and comes to a tip. You know what a Chinese darn Dao looks like? It kind of looks like that.
Nice.
Are both edges sharp, or is it just like one of the edges is sharp?
Just one of the edges is sharp.
Zardan's gonna take out like a jeweler's glass kind of thing and put it in his eye, and he gets out some like little tools and kind of taps and listens, and I start basically casting Identify on it.
Okay.
But it's a ritual, and it'll take me like 10 minutes. So
10 minutes.
As I recognize he's doing this, I try to get Phineas's attention off of Zardan and me, and I'm like, so, and how old did you say you think this blade is?
I would say at least 3,000 years.
Wow, 3,000 years. What an exciting find.
And it looks brand new.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
He
it
said
does
often we pull out pieces and stuff that was that's under much worse wear, but the items that obviously have the magical properties to preserve them come out the best.
How much do you think this one will fetch?
Oh, that's not for me to say. Obviously, that's for the company to tell. All goes through the company, of course.
Well, that's true. Very, very, very right. Oh,
This
man.
piece alone should supply us for at least a month or so with whatever supplies we could possibly need.
And it's And is this your prized find of this day so far?
Oh
Or at least
no,
of this
no,
reputation?
this is maybe this week so far.
Oh.
So very lucrative.
Yeah, and he says many of the items we get that fetch the highest price are not even martial. He'll say many different pieces we've gotten that have fetched the highest price have been some of the obsidian, smaller inscription tablets we've found. Stuff that for a collector's eye would fetch more.
Oh. So.
Have you come across books and writing?
We have several. We've had several scroll tubes we found, ivory, and we did find a book that. Yeah, we found a book.
Was
Of
this
course.
also interesting?
Yes, many interesting things. I learned a great deal from that book, and of course it went through the company. I'm not sure where it ended up, but
Has it been dangerous bringing things out of this pit? How far does this pit go down?
so far we have excavated about 20 feet, 20, 30 feet, and we keep finding items and bones and such, so we will continue going until we've exhausted this site. I believe it actually stretches out for at least several yards in each direction that we haven't even started to excavate, but the reach of our steam shovel, we're having to do this methodically. But I believe it was a huge battle by the inscription on the stela.
Why do you call it a stela?
I don't know. It's an obelisk, I guess. I refer to it. Is that the proper word? Stellae? He's referring to the obelisk when he says that.
Right.
Mhm.
And has the obelisk like fallen, or is it like buried in, or can we tell the orientation of it?
It's fallen. He says it used to. He believes at one point it was upright, but has since fallen over. He says, but it still protects this area. That we've deduced by the fact that the undead have never come to this section.
Mm.
Well, yeah, if you're digging up bones, they'd probably be pouring out of that had it not been working.
My thoughts exactly.
What is the identify reveal about said longsword?
This is a +1 longsword.
Mm.
No alignment, no other properties.
No.
Yeah.
I I can't think of anything else to just stall.
All right.
I see Logan back on Discord, but I don't hear him.
He can hear us. He says.
Oh, he can hear us. Okay.
So I'll jump in and I'll be like,
Did you make a copy of the book you had?
No, we did not.
Well, would be amazing reference material. How do you know what you're looking at?
Well, I copied what I could that was useful. Some of the arcane spells and whatnot in the book I had no use for. I'm sure they increased the price that it fetched, though.
that's all Zardan has. He's not. He's got an 8 charisma, so he's not exactly the talkative type.
Do you have a map of the island or more of the area, or just the spot?
He says he's got a very detailed map of this spot because they're kind of doing a big grid excavation and stuff, and he knows what's outlying maybe a mile in any direction from this spot, but that's all he's got. So his map of the island is basically what you guys have seen on your way in. He says that they haven't done much exploring because anytime they've tried to go further, it's been, he says about half a mile out or so from here, the undead get too thick for them and they don't want to, they've lost people and it hasn't been pretty, so they kind of stay here now.
Replacement armor on your golems. Is it, is it because of damage, or are you rebuilding them?
A little bit of both, actually. We have, whenever they are damaged, or I've been trying to, and you can see some of the golems have a lot more of the armor pieces than the others. He's like, I've been, I like to tinker now and then, and I've actually tried to see how much I can construct a new one out of whatever's available.
Is it forgeable materials?
I do believe so. I do not have forging craft, but it looks to me as though it is.
Zardan's looking around like, you don't have a forge? Do they don't have a forge?
They have a small one for, well, I guess whatever you would need for repairing parts and stuff like that and making that kind of stuff. But I'm not thinking like armory style.
Okay. But they must have like something to do small scale smelting and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and stuff to make parts for the steam shovel or
Okay.
repair any of that kind of stuff. Just not the particular instruments to make armor or weaponry. More industrial.
Okay.
I ask him, so where would you suggest looking first for one of these other lucrative areas?
Well, since we're on the south side of the island, I would suggest anything anywhere north of here. Glad I could be so helpful.
Is there a way through the mountains?
I do not believe so. And the mountains look kind of like the Hawaii style mountains, to where it's pretty sheer. It's jungle and stuff, but it's not something you're going to be able to go across. Yeah. I wouldn't say. Well, do you have any kind of geology background? Not like a dwarf, so.
Nope.
Okay. This island does not look volcanic. Let's put it that way.
And I say, so aside from you and the undead, is there anything else you've seen in this jungle?
We've seen many, I guess, jungle things.
Up north?
Around. We've heard of gnolls. We've actually encountered a undead gnoll, so I would assume there may be live ones. But other than that, I'm not sure what you want specific-wise.
Things
Oh, just
flying
like
around.
dangerous. Yeah.
Plenty dangerous, for sure.
Anything that flies? Normal birds? That kind of stuff?
Yes, definitely. And you guys have seen birds and other things running around.
That would have been my question on our ride up. We heard jungle animals and noises.
Correct.
Okay, so the undead haven't consumed everything that's, as far as we know. We have seen other animals, or at
Correct.
least heard them. Okay.
Correct. You do hear them a lot more around this section to the dig than when you were closer to coming up through the shore and stuff.
The obelisk, you call it the
Stella.
the stela, which you believe keeps the undead from overrunning your camp, and it has fallen over. Has any pieces of the stela come off or sheared off, or is it still in one piece?
He says no, it's still in one piece. It's actually in very, very good condition.
But it's just fallen over.
Yeah, and it's almost to the point of maybe at one point just kind of like erosion falling over. Just kind of slid down. Might have had more support, but then doesn't look like they
And have
obviously
you
didn't
find
push it.
anything from your dig that matches that same type of material?
A few things, like mostly like jewelry style stuff that's made out of that obsidian.
Do you have any of that here now?
Yes. And he will go off and bring back some pieces.
Yeah, I wonder if, as we look at them, I kind of mention it's maybe a long shot, but if it's made of the same material, maybe if we were to have one of these in our possession while we explored the island, it would keep the undead away from us. Would you be willing to loan this to us until we verified its usefulness and
Certainly.
then bring it back?
Certainly. I've
And then just pick
I've-
one of the things out at random, whatever he brings.
Okay. Yeah, he's like, I've detected on all these. These ones I think are more ornamental than useful, but you're free to try. And
Did
yes,
detecting on the monument reveal anything?
I was just gonna say,
What's the magical properties of the Stella?
yes, a abjuration is on the stela.
Okay. Well, we can give it a try, and we'll bring it back, certainly, if it does not prove to ward us any better than making us look pretty.
No problem.
I'll unless it already has like a lanyard or a chain, I'll fashion something so it can be worn by you, Ward.
Cool.
So he can be our ward.
It's a ward for ward.
Everybody stay close.
Yeah, I do the anime stance. Stay close. Or if you saw the opening of Destiny 2, the big shield he puts up.
Everybody anime pose.
Well, Phineas, it seems like you have your camp well in order. The company's always been impressed with your work, and I see no reason why they would doubt you now.
Thank you for saying such. Yes,
if
the
we
company
were to,
has done well by us. We're very happy with our contract.
Well, I hope we can count on your services if we were to bring other artifacts or items to you to help us with the history of whatever we find out there.
Yeah, his eyes light up. He goes, "Yes, anytime. I'd be happy to."
Might I make a copy of your map?
Sure.
I work on that.
And I say, well, fellas, it's been a fun time, but I think I'm gonna head to bed. Gonna go take a doze, and I shoot a wink over to Dozer, and I say, catch me on the way back after our adventure if we don't get eaten, and I'll help you out with that thing with the shovel you were telling me about earlier.
Indeed. Thank you.
And I leave everything there, plate and all, and I just head to head to my tent, saying goodbye to everybody. I'm staying by name, and heading out.
Shooting 6 pistol. Hey, you. Hey, how's it going? I love it.
Now,
Yep.
Zardan remembers all their names but refuses to use any of them. And after dinner, just out of sheer habit, I guess I take care of my dish and dishes in whatever order that everyone else is doing. If they're washing their own and then restacking them or whatever, that's what I do. But then before we lose all the light, I go make a rough sketch of the steam shovel.
Okay. And they do have some torches and stuff around, providing light at night around the camp.
Yeah, I'd probably only be maybe 10, 20 minutes behind Myrrh, and I would bow out and head to get a nice long rest if possible, while do some reading of my book in the tent for a bit before actually getting some sleep.
All right. I assume Shadhu is also
Shadhu.
turning in. Shadhu says yes. All right, so you guys turn in for the night.
I sort of drag in very late and just collapse face down in my cot and sleep that way
With a beautiful steam shovel sketch.
with like sketches and things falling all over the place.
All right, so you have a fairly uneventful night, if not entirely comfortable, just because it's doesn't get very cool at night. You do hear several large insects buzzing about that make sleep not that fun once in a while. But the first thing that wakes you up in the morning is the sound of the steam shovel starting to whistle as it's being warmed up. Seems like the gnomes are getting a very early start to their day. Basically, right as the sun's coming up is when that shovel's starting to go up, and you start to hear movement going around the camp.
Yeah, get it. So we got a long rest, got everything, our stuff back.
Yep, long rest, all your stuff's back up.
Yay. All right. Yeah, gather up my pack, check on my compadres. We ready to head out? You know where we're going to go?
North?
I'll bring you
Yeah,
back to the map.
Yeah, I'm having some breakfast there with the gnomes. Woke up hella early, and I was like, and just gathering more information, just being like, so around here, what sights to see? Where do you think would be a great place to go check out?
Most of the stuff they're telling you about is right at the dig. Oh, you got to go see the steam shovel. It's amazing. You really got to check out Phineas's collection of ankle bone.
Oh, yeah.
You can
Alright.
always visit Bump's burial site.
R.I.P. man,
Buried him.
for a bump.
Gnome is good eating.
We burned him and buried him.
Ugh, what a waste.
R.I.P. Bumps.
R.I.P. bumps. Hardly knew him. And I'm like, well, you know what? Catch me when I come back after I help you guys with that steam shovel thing. I'll check out that collection of yours you were telling me about, and I head off with my group.
And Zardan is tugging at your. You wear robes, right, Ward?
No, it's more like clothes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Breeches, tunic, kind of thing.
Yeah, and then kind of more like I'm thinking almost like a duster leather coat kind of thing.
All right. Then he tugs at your pocket and is like, so we mountaineering or skating east or west?
Yeah, everything we saw. Well, I'm open for ideas from the group as we have the group gathered, but it seemed like as we looked on the east side of the island, which we sailed in from, we didn't really see anything. So I'm wondering if we go to
I'd
the west
say-
side of the island, which we haven't
I'd
seen
say-
yet.
I'd say, why be so ambitious? That was the safe travels. Why not just get a nice perimeter? Work our way out from here, see which way seems the least awful, and then tomorrow we'll head that way.
Any other suggestions? Looking around.
I like the perimeter thing.
I'm
Yeah,
not
we
a
could,
ranger. What do I know? I was like, map north. Oh, there's mountains west, east.
Anything to think of? I agree.
Logan wants to stay in camp.
No, he said I can't
Anything
do
but.
a cat. I can't do the cat the way he's been doing it. But
Yeah, I look at Myrrh. Is it clear to us that Myrrh is kind of our survival expert? Would that be fair to say?
You actually might think the exact opposite.
Okay.
Mur is a little bit of a diva when it comes to dealing with all this bullshit.
Okay. So
You
we're
can
not
do
seeing
it.
lots of cool
Doesn't like it.
outdoorsy skills yet from Myrrh.
Nope. And if you ever do, I won't be excited.
All right. Yeah, all right. We can so each let's see. So we can see the perimeter. We could probably go out at least a mile. I'm thinking. Just check out what's all within a mile of the camp, just to make sure we know everything that's in that.
For sure, I would suggest we head to the what would never eat. Oh God, I can move this. Oh my God, go back. There we go. I say I guess we should I look up at the mountains, checking their shape, seeing where they start, where they end. I'm like, how about we start from the west and move our way counterclockwise, Let's get a good scope of everything. Get a nice break once we hit the trail. Hopefully no undead there. And then we finish off looking at the walking around the edge back to the the dig site.
Yeah, that seems pretty good.
Teagrey, is there any way
like
I could get a copy of the map so I could like print it out and make it like the player's map?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, if at some point in the week send me a copy of it and I'll print it out in like black and white, and then we can take notes on it and stuff.
So I think what we'll try to do is
Where's this? What am I at?
our plan is just to kind of scope this perimeter area out.
Oh yeah, we can go fairly.
Something like
We can go
this.
fairly slow.
So here's how it'll work. You can cover, because of the deep undergrowth and all the jungle and stuff like that, you can cover a mile every 2 hours. So if 4
okay.
hexes is a mile,
4, 6, 8. Yeah, we'll probably be able to do this square. We probably have to tackle
Just
this
on our
side
first
tomorrow.
day. I mean, we don't have to. Yeah, we don't have to go crazy on the first day.
Yeah.
I'd like to have everybody keep their eyes out. It'd be great if we could find a way through these mountains. So if we see something that looks cave-like, we might take a second or two just to see if it goes in or not. And then we're also just keeping our eye out for danger and stuff that's out here.
Trails or rivulets, maybe too.
Water
Yeah, I would
runs?
say keep our eyes out, and maybe we could fan out a tiny bit, stay within being able to see each other, but we don't necessarily have to, maybe within just a couple 100 feet of each other, but maybe we'll cover more ground that way in each one of these hexes.
That's all the
split the party.
That's all the
Not split the party, but just widen
all
the
the-
party.
all the
What did you just say?
So we don't get hit by a grenade.
He wants us to be like 100 feet apart, and Zardan's like thinking,
Oh,
"I'm
right.
trying to take notes, work on a map, and all this, and watch,
And watch.
and jungle cats eating me."
And I'm gonna have I'll send the hawk up and tell it to search for undead and let us know if it finds undead.
I look
Okay.
over to
Like
as
the
he-
what would they call it? I bet a bird would call it like the carrion or
Yeah.
the festering or the unedible, something like that.
the moment when Warren suggests us being 100 feet apart, I'm like, sure, Warren, feel free to be 100 feet away from us.
Yeah, I have no problem with
Go
it.
ahead. And I'll stay right behind Zardan and Shadhu.
What's your hawk's passive perception?
That would be not listed, but it does have perception checks that rely on sight has advantage. It uses its wisdom, and its wisdom score is a 14, so it's a +2. Perception is a +4, but it does not say passive perception unless it's somewhere else. Let me look in the compendium, maybe.
And he's flying above the canopy? Or is he in?
I would say kind of out in front of it. Well, I would just say search and let us know if you find any undead out. So my guess is he's just out flying and circling around and looking, and then comes back and reports or something.
Okay.
Passive perception's a 14.
Okay.
And my passive perception, I'll be up front, I guess, if they're all in the back, hiding behind the wizard. My passive perception, it's only a 12. Not very good.
Yeah, let me get passives on everybody.
9.
14.
Shadow's got to be high, right?
For passive, maybe.
Let's see. He is a
10. No, we're all pretty not passively perceptive, but we're
Perfect.
actively
14 is not
percepting.
bad.
perfect.
They're undead, right? We'll know they're coming.
All right. So, which way are you headed first? You're going west and hugging the.
Yeah, yep. Following the kind of the dotted line. Looking for trails or caves that might lead through the mountains. Signs of evil camps or evil doers, evil undead, good undead.
Really?
You
I'm gonna
evil
go
doers.
check.
You guys find yourself.
Yeah. Ne'er-do-wells.
What was that?
Oh, I gotta go make sure the elves went to bed.
Oh yeah. Let's take our 5. Actually,
Okay.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
All right, 5, and we'll be back.
We'll be right back.
All right.
So
All right, we are back.
All right. Okay, so your guys' plan is to head out following the arrow to the west, hugging that area and coming back and making a circuit of what you can. And are you guys doing the everybody's 100 feet away from each other? Zardan, no.
Nope, war could be though. I'll be sticking with the group. Unless Shadhu also wants to be 100 feet away, then I'll just stick with Zardan. Because I know the little guy is gonna get lost here. He's the same color as the terrain.
Blend right in.
I'm snack size for panthers and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I'm sure the undead ate them long ago.
Anything yet?
Hey,
There you go. Now we can hear you.
Discord and video do not mix with Roll20.
Yeah, it's weird. Ward and PB keep coming in and out too.
Yeah, I mean, I've constantly got black screens for them, but I'm assuming you've got the same thing for me.
Yeah. We'll have to go through. We'll do a Discord call next time. It seems to work better. All right. So, what time you guys heading out?
early on. Mers will be awake before the shovels come down.
Well, yeah, once there's light enough out that we don't have to worry about having to have dark vision or torches or anything.
All right.
But
We'll
early
say-
enough to get as much of the day as we can.
All right. We'll say you take off about 8 a.m. then. And here we go.
Step 1 foot outside, sudden
Travel
encounter.
montage.
Do, do, do. I'm tempted to make you guys roll every hack.
We make sure we all stand abreast as we go out the camp, and we do the slow motion walk to our theme music as we leave.
We turn around, it's the goblins. I have the goblins and gnomes doing it.
B-box style. Nice.
All right, so you guys start heading out. Each hex is going to be half an hour.
What is going on with cards?
I don't know. I don't know what the button is. I keep looking at it thinking it's something important. I don't know why it's there.
I haven't been able to get rid of them.
Oh,
Me either.
all right.
I figured it out.
You should be able to go into settings and turn the decks off. Hide, I think, is one of the options. I'm not the DM, so.
I just threw them at the bottom. I don't have to look at them.
Yeah, I think I might have to make that outside of this section, like in the main thing for the game. Yeah, I don't know how they got that. All right. So you guys start heading out. You notice the first quarter mile or so, you get the standard birds and whatnot. But as you start getting further out, the sounds of the forest are or the jungle. Not as many birds calling. Not as many little critters running around. The hawk's out in front. You guys get about a mile out, and the hawk is starting to squawk and whatnot toward.
Okay. Is there a way that I can determine the direction or even see what's agitating it?
It appears to be straight out towards the. We're going to say you guys are right around.
You want to
that
move our
fourth.
So like,
That would make way more sense.
all right.
So you guys are out about there, and and obviously there's still jungle canopy and stuff throughout this section. It's just not as thick as where the forested section is.
It goes right up to the mountains, and these mountains you said are like Hawaii 5-0 mountains. So these are like they skyrocket up into the sky.
Yeah, they skyrocket.
Okay.
Very steep, very eroded, very rugged. You could climb them, but it would slow you down to a ridiculously slow pace, and there would be a lot of danger of falling and dying.
Okay. And so we're hearing I'm thinking it's indicating there's something this way or this way.
Yeah,
or
correct.
this
In the direction you guys are going to.
All right. Yeah, so I'll put up the company hand signal for caution and draw your weapons, whatever hand signal that might be. Yeah.
Kind of a whoosh motion, and the gun comes up around.
And then if we could, I want to start using maybe. Why not? Why don't we? I start using the trees to move slowly, but I'll hide and see if we can stealth up closer to find either what's making noise, what's moving, or what's sitting, or can we get to a smell, or do we get to a spot where we can actually see something as we move from tree to tree?
You're going to stealth up.
I think we should all stealth. I don't think it hurts any of us to try to hide, but I'm willing to let Shadhu take the lead.
He'll give you that look as he walks past you. That's what I was brought for.
I give him the maitre d' bow and the arm wave, like we'll be after you. How far back do you want us?
In the jungle, the quiet jungle, Shadhu sneaks ahead.
Maybe 100 feet.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll
Given
be
that
about
I can
100 feet.
Run like 200 feet if I have to in a round. So I'll sneak forward.
All right, let's see a stealth roll. All right.
As he begins to separate from him, so in that 100 feet that he's moving ahead, I'm going to go ahead and cast Mage Armor.
All right, so Mage Armor is up.
Yeah, so I have 2 first level slots left. And yeah, you see the armor come together on the arm and the upper shoulders in the helmet.
All right, so Shadhu, you are sneaking forward underneath plants and reliving your Cholt days.
Yes.
And you start, as you creep up, you see off in the distance, probably about 100 feet or so, something moving through the jungle. It's kind of making racket.
There's no way to make out what it is. Can I get closer?
You can get closer. So let's say you get about maybe 50 feet before you can start to make it out much more clear.
Okay.
And it's a very large, well, you would know what this looks like. Looks like the shape of a gorilla to you. A big silverback. It's moving fairly clumsily, though.
All right. I will back up to the party and inform them. Just the one, though, right?
Correct.
Probably an undead ape.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if it's our job to clear him out, though.
Do you think we can sneak past him?
Will he be in our way as we scout out the area?
He was moving in your direction. And now that Shadhu's back, you can actually start to hear this thing rustling.
And we thought he was coming our way already.
Yep.
Do you
We could attempt
want
to hide.
Go around him?
I don't see any reason to fight it if it's not our job. If we're here for scouting and base prep, extermination of the island's population was not exactly in the job description, correct?
Correct.
So let's go around it. Is mine vote?
I agree.
All right. How do you presume to do that?
What's coming towards us? We
I
go
can just
south?
climb up a tree. We could just run, or move away quietly.
Give it a wide berth.
I don't know what an undead gorilla's perception is going to be, but I'm betting we can beat it.
So you're gonna hide or go around it?
Let's just try to hide, and if it passes us by, same effect. If it finds one of us, we're in a good position to fight with it if it jumps on us.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's
so we'll
fine
just
with me.
kinda, we'll just find a hiding spot right here where we're right in the spot that we're at, and let's see if it will pass by us.
All right. So let's do some stealth rolls.
Ooh, good job, Zardan. This is where it's going to be horrible. Yes. Yes. Wizard's killing it.
You have a +4 dex.
Killing it.
the
I do have a wizard with +4 dex.
Firbolg's got like a leaf.
She can go
front of
invisible.
it. Ah,
She can just
Thank you.
turn invisible.
I could, but I don't.
Just stand really still.
You
You'll
actually
just look like a
you can
tree.
turn into a tree, can't you?
Not yet. I have to wait till 3.
All right.
See,
So you
this is why
guys
she
are
wants to
all
fight the
against
gorilla.
tree.
you guys are all hiding, correct?
I would say 3 of us are.
3 of you are.
Some of us are leaning against a tree. Forward.
Like with their back just... Yo.
So as this thing is crashing through the jungle towards you and has gone past toward Shadhu and Zardan, it's gonna stop, taking a big sniff, and look straight in Mur's direction.
I give him a sup.
Sup, dude?
Sup.
He goes, sup. And he pulls out a big D20 and he rolls his initiative.
Right in front of you.
How
where's
tall
our
is this guy? How big is this guy?
He's big.
Big silverback.
He's actually huge. Okay, so let's pull us into...
The mighty jungle.
Grab some token. And I think Shadhu, you'll have to reset your damage on this because I'm pulling one that's got damage on it.
That
Go
sounds
ahead and-
delicious, whatever you're munching.
Go ahead and paste, pull up your guys, put your guys hiding somewhere, however you guys want to hide. And then go ahead and do initiative.
You fall out of the tree.
How'd that happen?
A 20 for the hawk. Oh, the token, yeah. Yeah, that last time me dragging it in didn't work for some. Yeah, I think it worked. Hmm. Did that work? All right. All right. Looks like Shadhu is going to be up first.
Huh.
As you see this huge gorilla that has pustules and rotting flesh hanging off it turn its white cataract eyes on Myrrh and start to run at Myrrh.
I'm going to. I guess I'm going to fire my crossbow.
All right.
Am I getting surprise on this at all, or is he just
Nope.
attacking? I'm going to hold my action and declare I will fire when he gets within range of one of my allies.
Till he's threatened.
Yep.
All right. Zardan.
Woohoo! This Bacho jungle here, giving him cover. Can I see him?
You can see him. He's getting half cover.
All right.
So he'll get +2 on his AC.
All right. Time to make some noise. Oh, boom!
That is a hit.
$11.
11 piercing. All right. Anything else?
Bonus action. Oh, reload.
All right. Zardan is furiously reloading. We go to the hawk.
I'll have him fly back to me. And that's my action.
All right, Myrrh. This thing is charging you.
What do I want to do? This guy's right here. Do we have? Is this difficult terrain or is this regular terrain?
Regular.
I will. Oh shit! I haven't set it up. Is this a beast? You would say?
Oh, you're muted.
Yes.
Oh no, it's undead. Sorry.
Undead. Damn it!
It was
man.
a beast.
Can't even give me that. Man. I'm never gonna use my favorite enemy. I will. I guess I'll just go at it. I'll hit it. Why not? I swing once at my sword. I can think of a couple reasons why not, because I can't hit with a jam. Yep. And yep. And that was fun. And I just stand here and I look at him and I snarl at him.
The first one is a miss. The second one is a hit.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting. For 6.
6. All right. And we are to.
Can I fire?
Oh, yes, you can. Pew! Right over Mur's head. You can feel it whiz by your head, Mur.
It's like, damn it, every time.
All right. This gorilla comes barreling in and attempts to slam.
Just barely hit you.
Barely hit you.
Yeah, just barely. 23.
Medic.
I guess I'm not set up for doing damage automatically on this.
Just click the word attack. It should roll it. Over on the right.
There we go. Thanks. 15 bludgeoning to Mur.
Medic. You're a barbarian, right, Mur?
Yeah, I wish.
Attempt to parlay.
Where's Jarl when you need him? All right, that is the gorilla's turn. Ward.
All right, so were we counting, is there difficult terrain between me and him? Or is this all regular terrain?
It's all regular here.
Okay, so
Minus the trees just move around the base of the tree.
15, 20, 25. I'm going to... Has anybody hit him? He's only been hit once or twice so far. How does he appear? Do these wounds appear to be large, or does it look like we're just barely taking chunks out of him?
So far, you're barely taking chunks out of him.
Yeah,
You're kind of matching what's already happened to his body.
Kind of yell out to Zardan, we're going to need fire! And,
On it, boss.
let's just do a swing at this point. Actually, on the way over, I'll hit it with a firebolt on the run.
Okay.
Before I get to within 5 feet. So, like, you know, maybe I only moved 10 feet, firebolted, and then moved another 10 feet.
All right.
So here we go. Regular, normal. Firebolta.
That is a hit.
Oh, 2 fire damage.
2 damage. A little bit of singe for
2 fire damage.
All right. Shadhu.
Oh, Tavern Sparrow showed up.
We'll draw my rapier and charge forward. And stab.
Most definitely hit.
Ooh, nice big stab.
And we are attacking with an ally, correct?
Correct.
9er.
9 coming in. All right.
And I'm going to use my cunning action at that point to do nothing. Sorry. I was going to disengage, but I don't think I can at this point. So, not.
All right, Zardan.
All right. Ward called for fire, so I rush forward to about here and throw my alchemist fire. Oh.
Right, on to me.
Yeah.
So, Zardan, describe how you light the tree directly above everyone on fire.
He runs forward and he lunges it, but instead of going forward, it kind of goes up, and it breaks in the fronds, and the coconuts and whatnot are
Burning
all
coconut
alight.
smell. Oh.
Oh man! All right.
Napalm the canopy.
Yep.
All right, Hawk.
I ask it to fly in, try to distract, actually use the help action in game terms to give Shadhu advantage on his attack. So he's flying around the face of the gorilla as a help action.
Okay.
Do not get eaten, my little snack.
Burr, you are up.
I will
Hang in there, Myrrh.
cast. I will use Hidden Step as my bonus action. Turn invisible. And I will head 30 this way behind Undead Gorilla. And because that was magic, I will use. Nope, can't do it. I will put away my swords and take out my longbow and shoot it.
All right.
Alright. And I try and I fail and I just stand there.
Choo. Shoot it right into a flaming coconut that falls down.
And gives Shadhu amnesia.
Yeah.
Where are we? Who am I? Who are you?
Hawk gives him advantage. The flaming coconut that fell on his head, disadvantage. All right, the gorilla that was intent on Myrrh is staring at a space now that Myrrh disappeared from. So it's going to turn.
I start shouting to try to get its attention.
You're going to get its attention by shouting?
Heck yeah. Let's do this.
I'm going to avoid its
Intimidate.
attention by being
Intimidate roll.
super cool.
Don't crush me.
We're all good.
Intimidate, huh? Let's see. Hiya!
It hears you loud and clear
I beat my chest. Rawr.
and wheels to right over Shadhu's head to try to slam you.
It's gonna hurt.
Oh, jeez.
Let's
Assume
see.
that
So
hits,
17.
or
Yeah. It normally would hit. I will use my reaction to spend the shield.
all right. That's the
absorb
first time we've seen that. So
Yeah.
describe that.
So you see Ward tries to use the armor from the mage's armor, realizing at the last moment that the power of the blow is just going to blow right through him. And then he speaks a word that is just like a rumbling sound. And then as the gorilla's arms are about to beat down on him and paste him into the ground, it's just like there's just a invisible globe that lights up for a minute and then it disappears. So you just kind of see like this. There, you can tell there was a bubble around Ward for just the briefest of a moment, and the arms are not able to penetrate the magic.
What did your
Flares out again.
your hawk do?
It's giving advantage to Shadhu, so it's using the help action.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. The gorilla thinks it hit you, but it did not. Now we're
Yeah.
to war.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, me stronger. Me strongest there is. And quietly out the side of my face, I'm like, Shadhu, you need to kill him soon.
You are up, Ward.
Oh, I am going to continue to distract him, and I'm going to take the dodge action for my turn.
All right.
That will give
That
him
increases-
disadvantage. Gives him disadvantage on his
Disadvantage, okay.
rolls. Yeah. If he
All right.
attacks me. Yeah. And I continue to keep his attention, shout and yell, act like I'm the bigger gorilla. Try to reach him on some instinctual level and keep his attention.
All right. Shadhu.
All right, he's going to draw his dagger, and he's going to stab with both his rapier and his dagger.
Oh, and I'm down to one spell slot.
That hits because you have advantage.
First one, you get advantage on the first one, but not the second one. So your first one is advantage.
All right.
Which is
And
perfect.
that's actually a crit, so
Oh yeah.
golden there.
And the theme to the A team starts now.
Woo!
Dun, 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 dun.
That was a beautiful shot.
And then that dagger's kind of pointless, but he'll stab anyway.
Oh, pointless, huh?
2 crits. Come on. This is the greatest team ever.
He can't sneak attack more than once around, but that's still
That's awesome.
another 8.
All right, that.
Yeah, and you got
just
double
serious
you got
work.
double sneak attack damage. Did you roll that?
You
Oh, it did. It looked like it did.
Yeah, it does.
he can't double sneak on that dagger.
No,
right?
but on the
So-
first one, the crit, you always double the dice you roll. So if you roll for the damage of the weapon and you have dice that you roll for the sneak attack, you double that because of the first crit. Not talking about the dagger, but the rapier.
Yeah, it. That
But it looked
10
like it did it. It looked
Yeah,
like
it did it.
Nicely done.
Very double
So,
critage.
that might be the most damage I've done in a round without burning 2 levels of smite.
Yeah, and what was cool about it is it's the first one would have missed except for the hawk giving you advantage to get you the first crit.
Good use of the help action.
Dang. I'm gonna pick up my game. All right, Zardan.
And as a cunning action, I'm going to disengage and take 15 feet of movement backwards.
Okay.
Nice.
And that is unattackable because it's a disengage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's nice about it. So how's that look? What's that disengage look like? Give us a
It's
backflip or
just
something.
stab, yeah, tumble backwards.
Yeah.
Although he's a cat, he's got a tail. I don't know.
What's the smite?
That might
move?
just be a gigantic leap backwards in the air with the blood trailing off of
Oh, nice.
both the weapons.
League of Legends style. Come on.
Right.
Stab, leap back. 2 trailing blood trails.
With
off your
a with a superhero landing at the end.
Yeah.
And then he'll land and he'll kind of wave the monkey on
Nice.
because he's gonna have to walk out of your range if he wants to.
Yeah, I'm still beating my chest. Me strongest.
Zardan.
Keeping his attention.
All right. What I assume is my commanding
More
officer
fire.
had called for fire.
Unless your gun counts as fire damage.
It doesn't, but it is counted as magic for purposes of creatures that need to be hit. But what I do instead is I take this small replica. It looks like a badge or a shield, and I wing it through the air. And as it tumbles through the air, it goes out in front of Ward and springs into a magic shield of faith in front of you. your +2 armor class.
Nice. So I'm a 19.
And then I use my bonus action to reload my gun.
All right, the hawk.
I tell it to continue to distract this creature, allowing Shadhu advantage on his attack if he comes back into melee range. If not, no big deal.
All right. So the hawk is buzzing around.
Yep, trying to do the help action for Shadhu, who I'm assuming is coming back into fight.
We've never fought before, but that's a fair bet.
That's a good assumption.
Yeah.
Well, the way the help action reads, just so we're clear, just so we know, because I looked it up. So I can aid a friendly creature in attacking a creature within 5 feet of you. So you feint, distract the target, or in some other way team up to make your ally's attack more effective. So if your ally attacks the target before your next turn, the first attack roll is made with advantage. So you need to get within... You need to be in this spot when you do that for that to fire off.
Yep. Of the bird.
Of the bird. Yeah.
Not you.
Not me. I'm dodging. I'm dip, duck, dodge, dive.
All right, so Myrrh cured herself. Hit itself. Myrrh cured itself.
Don't put a label on her. Him.
Try not to. I said
them. Them. They.
Themselves. Myrrh healed themselves.
Yeah, Myrrh healed and moved over here. And that's their turn.
Does Myrrh have a gender bias one way or the other?
From what I gather from Firbolgs, from what I've read, is that they're very isolated people who don't really hang out with other Firbolgs very much. They don't use names very much. They use names for other people's sake. So for me, my headcanon of Firbolgs is that they don't give a fuck. So
you're gonna be a tree next level anyway. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So Myrrh doesn't give a fuck what you call them. He, her, it. It's all a human or other being concept.
Your labels are meaningless.
Concept. Yeah.
Nice.
Myrrh's not even her real name. Who knows? Who knows what the real name is?
Myrrh doesn't care what you call it, just don't call it late for dinner.
Exactly. Then we'll have a problem.
All right, so Myrrh healed up 10 and moved, and now we are to the gorilla zombie.
Ducking, diving, dodging. I'm trying to keep its attention.
I'm going to give it a small percentage chance to have that amount of damage that it was done to it.
Sure. Makes sense.
Let's say it's 15%. 0 to 15. Oh.
Close.
He burns me a look though.
He does look at you, but
I wink at him though as he does it.
Ward's closer, so it goes for a slam on Ward.
I've got a 19 AC at the moment with the Shield of Faith. Oh, you jerk. 19, 20, 21. Even if I use my ability, I've got to use my... Oh, no, it's disadvantage. I am dodging. It rolled a 9.
What gives it disadvantage? The Shield of Faith?
No, I'm dodging. I didn't use it.
Right.
My action was a dodge.
Ooh, nice.
So, yeah, I just move out of the way, and as the hammer fists slam into the ground and make it... roll past me. I forget I'm not the DM.
Go for it. That's fine by me. If you want to describe it, go for it.
That's okay.
Makes my job easier.
That's okay. Your game.
All right. So that was the gorilla, and we are to Ward.
I'm going to... He's getting a really good bonus. He's rolling some good numbers. I'm going to shift, staying within melee range, so no attack of opportunity. I'm going to continue to dodge to give him disadvantage on trying to attack me while screaming and yelling at him that I'm bigger and I'm stronger, and I like swing around, but I'm not actually trying to hit him. Just keep him here as much as possible.
All right.
So dodge action.
Shadhu.
You will move in. Except he's going to do it. He's going to jump off a tree and bring both of those weapons down into that guy.
So first one's advantage. Well, at least
12?
I think it's still a hit.
12
I think.
hits.
Yeah. Oof.
Can't be big numbers all the time.
Nope.
Niner.
Niner. All right.
It's a battle of attrition. Oh,
There you got him, though.
There you go. There you go. Lay it on him.
Nice. All right. Quick 17.
Quick 17. All right. It's looking haggard and
I'm like,
more
Zardan,
undead than normal.
big gun. Zardan, big gun.
Cunning action. Quick backflip.
I want someone to animate this battle.
I do too.
So awesome.
Because my head cannon on this is so freaking awesome right now.
Zardan.
All right. He said big gun. Thunder Cannon.
That is a hit
Nice.
for 9.
Nice.
All right.
As we all wait for the "is it dead" moment. No.
It
Is it
fall
less, more dead?
over.
Ah, yes.
it gets slammed. So Zardan, describe how you blow this thing up.
Take it down. I guess it's a shot through in the throat to the spinal cord, so the head just lops sideways, and it collapses like on its haunches and then on its face.
Can this all happen while I'm in midair and you shoot it underneath me as I'm flipping backwards?
Like
Right through his tail.
Well, and as you're in the air, he's like, "Big gun," and I'm like,
yeah. But it's the cat jump, so it's like it's almost like a big sprayed out limbs. The cat jump.
there it is. That's I lump him like that. Like I said, his head lolls sideways, and then he just folds in on himself till he hits the ground.
Excellent.
And then the burning coconut falls and hits him in the head.
In the head, as it starts to twitch and starts to get standing up, burning coconut comes down and
Finishes him.
finishes the job.
Thank you, Tavern Sparrow. That was our gig.
Oh, it was so close to standing back up.
Oh,
Yeah, I was worried.
Was damage plus 5, so it needed a 14 and it rolled a 13.
because that would be weird. Its head snaps back on, and then
One more undead down.
Thanks, X.
Just to be sure. All right, we are out of combat.
So give it one last kick, and Zardan, I think we should burn it.
Stupid monkey.
All right. I have 1 alchemist fire and 2 acid left. So
Oh, you don't have them unlimited?
no, I'm not the alchemist.
Let's just torch it up then. We'll gather
You
branches,
have Firebolt,
leaves.
don't you?
Sure.
And I have a lighter.
I can't possibly use my magic for such a mundane task as that.
You know how many firebolts it would take to light this thing up?
Right. Yeah, I think we'll just torch it up. We'll gather tinder. My brain's not working.
Tinder.
Flint and tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of
kindling is what I was making.
Yeah,
kindling.
there's plenty of dead stuff around here that's you can gather up bark and stuff.
maybe give a look over to Myrrh and say, or give the questioning nod of, "Are you okay?" It's just the look. It's not even a sound. It's the look.
I'll just give you a
The wave.
just wave
All right.
away.
All right.
Like,
Go team.
Nice. Well done. That thing had a ton of hit points.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to hit pretty hard.
Yeah, 2d8 plus 4. It's a beast.
It's not a beast. It's undead.
It's undead.
undead.
Sorry, PB. All right, so you guys end up getting enough of kindling and tinder, and burn up that undead gorilla. That battle took all of 30 seconds, maybe?
Yeah, I think that we only got to 3 rounds. I think. No, so it'd be 18 seconds.
18 seconds. Wow. That just all went down the minute it turned on Myrrh. Like,
We were
okay,
like,
we're
"This is serious."
yeah, let it go by, let it go by. Ah, crap. Stab, 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 boom, boom.
I'm actually glad we got to fight it, but I was cool with trying to avoid it.
Here's what I know about undead. They don't carry loot. So.
Especially like animal undead.
Yeah.
So-
Crabs.
Yeah, you guys didn't check the body, did you?
Unless it ate something with a ring.
Yeah. Magic don't burn. We're good. We're okay.
We're good.
for a second, I was heartbroken because GB would be sad, but Zardan, as long as he's got enough cash to continue his experiments, loot, nah. Unless it's something new and exciting.
All right, so you guys are heading back out.
I collect my brass, and then while I'm doing that, I look for Shadhu's quarrel bull.
My 1. Thank you. Actually, because I'm down to 14.
I got a chance for it.
Yeah,
Investigation.
go for it. Oh, we're gonna let you find that one for sure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Just
Thank you, little man.
embedded in a tree.
In the coconut.
I understand the importance of ammunition, even if it is an archaic weapon.
Maybe.
Actually, what I like about that battle too is that most of the damage came from the rapier, so it's not even like a lot of gore at that point. It was like precision strikes.
Especially with the sneak attack damage on top of it.
Yeah, you can sneak attack anybody in 5th ed. That's crazy. As I was looking at that, there's like almost no restrictions on it.
It's just
You used to be, if it was undead, you were just a waste of party space as an undead, as a rogue.
and undead should have vital thing. Look at their brain.
All right, so from this position, I'm going to have 8 hours of mage armor, which I think is still enough because I don't think we're going to be out. Well, how long have we been out so far? How long did it take us to get to that?
2 hours.
The whole patrol was supposed to take 8.
Yeah, so we're 2 hours in, so I should have
you're
plenty.
2 hours
Okay.
in.
So I'm leaving
All
mage
right.
armor up, and then we'll go ahead and continue. I'll ask Hawk to alert us if it can of any more of carrion or the unclean, whatever it thinks, whatever its term is for these nasty things.
Lepers.
So
Outcast.
we're really looking
unclean.
for any way through these mountains. So have we seen any trails? Are there cave openings? Anything yet?
No, well, let me take that back. There's nothing. There's no trails.
Mm-hmm.
There are occasional cave openings. So I assume you're going to investigate those. to determine if they?
I would say it would be like a walk up and just to look to make sure it's not just a 10-foot opening. If it looks like it goes pretty deep, I'll kind of nod to Zardan to mark it down on his map he's making.
Exactly.
So that it might be something we can take a look at, because it would be really nice if we could find a cave that leads all the way through.
Gotcha.
To get us to the other side, and we can come back and look at those. But for now, I think we're just kind of checking the whole perimeter.
You do notice that there are some caves, and just to give you kind of an idea of the topography and stuff, these mountains and the bulk of this island are made from limestone. So it's that karst, I think they call it. So a lot of these caves look like they've either broken out from subterranean stuff like that, or stuff where it's over time you've got, and this you can really tell with these mountains and stuff, it's a lot of erosion that's based on the limestone being eaten away and stuff.
Okay, awesome.
But so far in this section of mountains that you've come to here, you haven't seen any caves that go deeper than 12, 15, 20 feet or so.
Yeah, I'd probably say about midday, or when we're taking a short break. Does anybody need a short break or a short rest to get
you guys
anything
are about
back?
4 hours in at this point.
Because we could rest an hour if you needed stuff back. Mine comes back on the long rest, but
Me too.
I'm fine.
yeah, we'll just keep going then. Won't waste it. I could get one of my spell slots back, but I think we'll be okay.
Clean these weapons. That's about it.
I'll mention while maybe we're just taking a 5-minute snack and ask Mer if she's seen any tracks or.
Any tracks, Mer?
Let's
see.
Is Bourbon looking?
She's like, what?
Right here? There's nothing here.
I saw some gorilla tracks. I don't know what you're talking about.
I wouldn't know what to look for. What would I look for?
Oh, I don't know. I was just thinking rangery things.
Gorilla tracks.
Yeah, gorilla.
Favorite
Those are-
animals, right? Any animal tracks?
They'd all be undead. They don't count.
Is an undead gorilla track different than a regular gorilla track?
That's a DM goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
I'd say so. They probably drag a foot, or, like you said, stagger walk instead of, nice gallops.
Yeah, I would imagine that undead are easy to track. Easier.
But I wouldn't get the advantage for a beast. Is the question.
Yeah, you definitely see lots of tracks of different stuff, and several of them look like they're dragging something.
So everything's dead.
Maybe
on
a
this island.
limb, another thing. All right, so you guys make it through your midday snack. It's about noon so far.
Yeah, well, then we'll continue on. We'll kind of swing past the drop-off point of the dock area, and then follow the coast along, and then head through those woods or the jungle area.
All right, you're about 6 hours out now, and you're back towards going along the bay at this point, the beach section. And is this where you wanted to cut back up to the camp rather than continue on? Because you've got about 2 hours left. Well, no, let me think. Yeah, you've got You've probably got about 6 hours left of light at this point. Did you want to just do 8 hours out? Is that what you're planning on, or longer?
Pretty much just the track, because it seemed like you said, because I don't even think it was that much mile-wise. We figured that's a mile to there. This one's probably about a mile down to here. About a mile-ish. Half mile. So yeah, it really only works out to be about 5 or 6 total miles, I think. Actually, I think there's a way. Is it you hold space down? Oh no, that's when you're moving a token. Never mind.
Yeah, because I'm going by hexes. So every 4 hexes is going to be a mile, and that's going to be 2 hours. So you've gone.
Yeah, so we got 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh wait, the camp is the obelisk. So 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 2.
Yeah, so that's 4 hours.
1, 2, 3, 4. We're at 3 where we're at now.
Yeah, so 6. So you're looking
3,
right now.
1,
It's
2,
about
3,
2
4.
p.m. there.
4 hours.
That
2,
would be
3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and then a little bit to get back. 6.5.
So that would be like 13 hours. That whole circuit.
Yeah, we have to cut it in half. So I'd say, yeah, just take that circuit around that we just did, where we are at the token, head back. Head back to the obelisk, and then tomorrow we'll head around the other way, see if we see anything interesting. Like a path to the other side.
Yeah,
So I'd
sounds
say
good to
from
me.
here, let's just head back.
Heading back.
We'll do that other loop tomorrow or something.
Yep. Just so I can help their gnomes with their stupid bullshit.
If these things are just stupid and mindless, I mean, is there some way we can just start building traps for undead?
Did Shadhu say that out loud?
Absolutely.
Oh, Zardan's like, oh, yeah. Fire traps, pit traps, spike traps.
That's how we would kill animals in the jungle.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you know your way around the jungle.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not digging a hole. There's plenty of
There's plenty
people
of
here on
room
this
for that.
island
There's-
can do that.
There's
But
plenty of gnomes, and when you say that, it's completely racist.
There's
that's,
plenty of gnomes to do that.
absolutely.
This is gnome work.
That's
I
the
could
only other
fashion
person
a-
here. Unless you want to dig a hole, or then be our guest.
Can't you just magic that dirt away?
I can fashion a whip. We'll get those gnomes working.
I can intimidate, as we as we saw with
Oh.
the gorilla.
Or for that matter, why don't we just get a big bell and start ringing it and draw them in?
There's always that.
It's probably a good idea for when
Bring-
we find a different area.
Bring the
We
herd
don't get
in.
another obelisk.
You've seen the herd, though, right?
I've never seen a herd, but I'm just looking for ways to get me off this godforsaken island faster.
All right, so you guys make it back following most of that path that you came back from the docks with no other event. Every once in a while, the hawk would alert you to something off in the distance. But unless you want to, if you do want to confront what it alerted you to, I'll allow that. But if you want to just kind of skirt it, that's fine too.
Well, if it's close enough, I will sneak again and try to spot it. And if the party is agreeable.
Is the party agreeable?
What say you?
Yeah, I think it's a
18?
scouting mission, so to know at least what it is, how far away it is from the gnomes, is a good thing.
Okay, so as you guys leave the beach area as you're starting to go towards the dig. You're not quite on the path, but the path is a little to your west. Shadhu, give me a stealth check. Oh, you did. Okay. Perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine. That's right.
Pun intended.
All right. You see off through the jungle something that appears to be humanoid shape, but mostly bone.
Alone.
Appears to be alone to you.
I'll spend a couple of rounds observing and looking for other movement around it. It's not moving, it's just standing?
It's moving, but very slowly.
All right.
Just kind of meandering. As you watch a little longer, you see two other humanoid forms that are all mostly bone with very little flesh, meandering towards the same direction. It looks like they're going north towards the dig site.
All right. I will jog back to the party and let them know. Skeletons, I'm assuming. 3 of them heading
Definitely
towards
like
the gnomes.
skeletons.
I suppose we should stop them.
We could get a good look at what their guardians are capable of if we just tag along behind.
You're not wrong. I mean,
We'll be
God
close
forbid,
enough
let
to
them go
make sure
down.
nothing goes bad, but at least let's see what their defenses can do.
Acceptable for me.
You want to shadow them, and we'll stay far
I
enough
I
back.
can do that. Just I'll give them an idea of what the line that they're walking is, and then I'll fall back and come in behind those 3 that I can see and make sure there's not more than 3.
Okay.
I mean, the hawk can probably give you a better idea too of where they're going.
So as you begin to follow these things, staying fairly far back, you notice that as they start approaching about the half-mile mark from where you feel like the dig is ahead of you, they stop moving in the northern direction. The first one to hit that kind of area, you see it physically kind of almost like it's hitting something, and then almost as it's repulsed or something, and it turns around and starts walking in the south direction. And the other 2 do the same thing, close to the same area.
I'm gonna dig through my my pack, grab some rope, and see if I can set it up at about chest level, tied between 2 trees, and see if they're smart enough to navigate an obstacle like that.
Okay.
Maybe we can just trap them and then kill them.
So you set up a rope between 2 trees in their path.
Yeah, I want to see if they'll hit it, and if they're smart enough to say duck under it, or if they'll just keep walking straight. I'm wondering if we could even capture one. Just think of this in my head: capture one and then drag it through some unseen barrier and see what happens.
So you set up a vine or a rope in the path of one of these things, and you're still fairly far off. You see it approach that thing, and it sees it as it gets close to it, and it just pulls up a sword and slices it out of its way and continues moving forward.
Oh, I can think.
Damn it! That was my rope.
I'll like whisper to you, the gnomes will have more. They'll have plenty. Shall we dispatch?
I think we should.
I mean, obviously the camp is not in danger of it, but I don't feel like we should leave them just walking around.
I'd suggest no pun intended, that we disarm one if we can.
Sure.
And, I don't know if you can subdue a skeleton, but let's try to keep one animated with us as we go back to camp.
Looking at Mur, does Mur have a strong looking build? Do we get the impression you have a pretty big strength?
What's your strength?
What's my strength? What's your strength?
Challenge accepted.
I'll arm wrestle you with my 13.
Oh, I have a 14.
Oh, all right, so okay.
Well,
Okay.
you just have like a high everything. That's why I asked. There's a good chance it was higher than mine.
I did have some pretty good stats.
Not to brag or anything.
No, humble brag.
All right. So how are you guys setting up this?
Well, let's pick 2. Kill 2 for sure, and then just see what we can do to the third.
You just want to hit them
all
from
have
range,
swords?
then just open up with everything we have ranged, and have them at least get a round of full-on firepower, and then melee them.
Sure.
Sure.
And they'll attack us, right? So
Yeah. So I'll kind of stand towards the front. Maybe have Zardan to my right and Shadhu to my left, and then Mur maybe off just a little bit.
a firing
Did
line.
they all have what kind of weapons did they have, Shadow? Are they all just swords?
Sword.
Swords. So can't we just get in trees, shoot at them? They try to climb, we shoot at them. The last one alive, we just grapple and have our way with later.
That just sounds unsportsmanlike.
Perfect.
But yeah, I guess.
You can climb a tree if you would like.
Oh, coming from the Tabaxi. Okay, sure.
I have no issues with climbing trees. Just I'd rather be able to just run if I have to.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
go ahead and set up, and I'm going to have them start out 30 north of you once you guys get, because it is super dense, so I'm going to give you a spot of being able to get an attack off before.
Yeah, give us a
But I
clearing. Like we would set up so that they would come through a small clearing of whatever to give us one shot at least.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'd say let's set up almost like maybe Zardan like right here. I'd say right close, and then Shadhu on maybe on the left, and then Mur where you can either be left or right, almost like an arrow position. Fly. We're doing the missing man formation. Iron Eagle. Let's do it.
Those words meant nothing to me, but
Oh my god, I want to see him get placed. It's just Dan showing his age.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like we have a person here, and then you can choose either to be here or here. We're positioning ourselves so they're coming right at me, and then we're all going to unload ranged weapons for at least a round, and then we'll deal with what happens from there. Would be my suggestion.
Open fire.
And then yeah, we'll go off of when we hear the boom of Zardan's cannon, we all fire.
All right, I'm aiming at this one.
All right, go ahead and get that first round off. That is a hit. Boom. The majority of it goes flying.
If it looks like it's going to still stand, I actually pause just the slightest of second to see if it goes down to then pick another target. If it doesn't, I'll fire into the one he just hit.
It does not go down.
All right, so I'll do Firebolt.
Zardan looks down the barrel like something's wrong.
That is a hit.
8.
And it goes down to your Firebolt.
Nice. And this looks like when I throw it, it looks like a discus throw almost, and it's a ring that flies out and smashes into it.
So Zardan blew off most of its left arm, and your firebolt discus goes out and just takes the head off.
Yeah.
That'll work. Shadhu, that is a hit. Which one were you aiming at?
The one in the back.
Okay.
Seven.
All right. Myrrh. Jeez. Which one were you aiming at?
It.
The guy right in front of me.
All right. Describe how you destroy this skeleton.
It's just like really, real casual. Just like, I guess I'll use this thing. I'm like, I'm just like, I aim, I look over at Zardan, hear it, I flinch a little bit. I watch Warden burn the guy, watch Shadhu just, boo! And I let go of my arrow before I turn around and I look at it. And it just sinks straight into the guy's, I don't know, chest cavity, I guess. And
Crumples down. There is one skeleton standing, and we can go into initiative.
You have to clear it? Okay. I was going to say, you have to clear it first.
Yeah, I got to get better at doing that before we leave.
23.
Wow. Zardan, you are up.
I put up the hold fire hand.
Right.
Shoot the beanbag.
Yeah. Okay. I hold my action, realizing I don't really have a way to, unless we had like a half an hour for me to build a trap. I got no way to take down this thing, so I hold my action. If it looks like, no, I just hold my action. That's all.
Well, you gotta say your trigger.
Oh yeah, there is.
Or
a
you just
trigger.
say you're not gonna do it. Yeah.
Um,
Let me.
I-
I'll just
I
be like.
inter-
Yeah, go ahead.
I interact and get out some rope.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm looking for these guys to take it down, and I'll tie it up.
Man, can we buy bolo?
All right.
Throw bolos?
Shadhu.
Is that a weapon?
Undead hunters. I'm gonna just go barreling in there. I don't know. Can you swing with the flat of the weapon in 5th Ed?
You are allowed to declare your melee damage as being subdual damage.
That's what I'm doing. I will jump forward and swat it with the rapier.
You need it to get closer to us. Mister, I can move 40. The rest of us move 30.
Suck it up. I already did 7 to this thing.
I want to grapple it.
That's a hit.
I'm gonna shatter its legs.
Describe how you shatter its legs.
I'll just sweep that rapier across both, just bust both femurs, leave them crawling,
Crack.
and then use a cunning action and take a 5 foot step back.
All right. The hawk.
I will send it up to make sure that we're not surprised or ambushed from behind or around the sides of us. Just have it keep watch up along the canopy. Alert us of any danger heading our way.
All right. The legless skeleton is up. It is attempting to crawl forward and stab at Shadhu and not doing a very good job. Ward.
All right. Did it move forward? I'm not seeing that.
It's, maybe at 5 feet.
Yeah, okay. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet. And I will attempt a grapple. So this will be an opposed check. And I get to use athletics, right?
Yeah, and I think it's going to have disadvantage because it's missing legs.
So yeah, as I run up, I kind of spin my staff, and then it latches onto my back somehow, anime style. And then I get up to it, and I grab it, and I pin its arms to its sides as much as I can, and I get it to stop moving, and I'm going to grapple it. Oh, you got a 21. I tried to grapple it.
You're going to succeed because it's prone and doesn't have legs, it's going to be disadvantaged. So
yeah,
you have successfully grappled it.
And I actually could have done it without that. Tactical will allows me to add +4 to a athletics roll.
Nice.
So that would have worked. But yeah, cool. I'll take the disadvantage. That works just as well. So yeah, I'm grappling it and trying to pin its arms as much as I can, waiting for somebody to come up and tie a rope around this thing.
Murr.
I walk up and I tie a rope around that thing.
All right, you've successfully disarmed and immobilized this skeleton.
Dislegged, I guess.
Dislegged.
And I absolutely want to make sure that we tie the rope around its body in the exact same fashion as Hellboy when they're carrying the skeleton through the graveyard and he has it on his back.
Who's going to strap it on their back? Yeah. Shut up, Rasputin.
And like a leather bag or something over its head, so it can't bite.
Yeah, it's trying to bite the whole time. It's little beady eyes.
We take one of its one of the leg bones and put it in its mouth.
It's gnawing on its own leg.
Yeah.
Why are you biting yourself? Why are you biting yourself?
Stop it, Mom!
We're going to call him Skelly Steve.
All right, so what are you doing with Skelly Steve?
Shadhu promptly loses interest in it and says, have fun experimenting. I'm bored.
Yeah, we're gonna carry this thing back and see what happens when we try to bring it through the magical ward.
All right, so you guys are starting to carry this back as you're going towards the dig site.
I look to Zardan real quick as we're doing that and say, are any of those swords or weapons or armor pieces off those things salvageable?
I check them out.
They are completely disintegrated and really in bad repair. They're all rusty.
Okay, couldn't even melt them down. Got it.
Yeah, they're rusty. I mean, you could clean them up and probably get some usable material out of them. These guys definitely look like they were sailors or cutthroats at some point.
All right. I guess I throw them in my bag.
3 rusty short swords. All right. So as you guys start going back towards the dig, you get close to where Shadhu saw the skeleton stop and turn around. As you get closer to that section, you notice that the skeleton is starting to stop gnawing, and its movement is slowing down. It's flailing, and it's
we just want to see what happens. Yeah, we want to see what happens when it actually gets to the barrier.
All right. So as you guys continue to go, it just ceases to move.
Oh. Like, does it seem, when we looked at it before, is it like something where you could look in the eyes and you could tell that it had some type of animated spirit to it?
Yeah, and as you pull it across that barrier, the light in its eyes dims, and as you get further, it eventually winks out, and at that point, the bones start to lose coherence with the other bones and start falling apart.
Yeah, just dash them apart then at the end of that, and just say, okay, smash it apart, and now we know.
Does it when we take it over after it quote unquote dies on inside the barrier? If I take it back out, what happens?
Okay.
It's just still.
If you take it back out, then nothing else happens. It's still just bones.
Okay.
Good call. So the power of the Stella breaks the unbinding of the undead.
Obviously, we need to construct more pylons.
I'm thinking we should just try to strap it on our backs and take it with us, but
Well, then what are the clockworks defending them from?
everything else.
Yeah, the not dead things, most likely.
We don't feel anything when we cross the ward or anything, do we?
No.
The ward barrier?
Yeah, you wouldn't even you wouldn't even notice it.
Yeah, there's no demarcation in the foliage, so it's not like damaging or altering the terrain in any way. There's no like line on the ground that shows it's burning or
No.
Yeah, no indication at all. Yeah, okay, cool.
All right, so you guys pull back into the dig, and it's you can tell it's nighttime and stuff, and everything's shut down for the night as you guys pull in, and that's probably where unless you want to do anything when you get back, we'll pick it up from that point.
I think it's cleaning gear and replacing any supplies that we lost. I know those guys should get arrows if they need them, or rope that got broken.
We can get crossbow bolts here.
Yes, they will have these in supply.
Get a good night's meal, hot, shower up.
Yeah, you guys kind of arrived at the perfect time. They're already eating, but they've got extra.
Maybe during
excited to see you back and happy that everybody's in one piece.
Yeah, we don't have to role play it now, but maybe during dinner we can have a scene where we catch Phineas up on what we found, and then maybe he can tell us what they found anything interesting during the day.
Sounds good.
Surely there must be a place for a bath nearby.
A bath out in the jungle? There are running streams and stuff that are coming down from the mountain.
Primitives.
Maybe Zardan can make us one. Hot tub?
Yes.
Dozer looks at Shadhu and goes, "Don't you just lick yourself?"
I'm not going to kill you now.
But one day.
You know how I said I'd kill you last?
You've moved up in the list.
Opens up a little book, writes his name in there. Noted.
Well, you should do the whole thing where you look over to Zardan and you tell him, open your notebook, Write his name in the notebook. Put a line
Addendum.
through it.
Addendum to his name.
Now strike it out. Strike it through.
Woo.
Nice.
Another good one, man.
Sweet. I really like the gorilla battle. I thought that was super cool.
I'm gonna start getting worried because we're using all our tricks now, and you're gonna find a way
Yeah, I
around
know.
them really soon, and then it's gonna be all just downhill for us.
How did you not notice that glue trap? Oh, you're stuck right next to that guy. Damn it.
It's all the piercing damage we have is our big damage. So,
Noted.
We may be the team that the next team has to come find because we're lying dead in a ditch somewhere because none of us have anything we can do against,
Right. Phineas's note to Barrow. Please send another expedition party. This time with maces.
Less pointy stuff.
Yes, slashing and bludgeoning weapons.
Mine's bludgeoning.
I don't know if there is a finesse bludgeoning weapon.
No.
There might be a slashing, maybe, but probably not.
A flail should be a finesse bludgeoning weapon.
Hey, you're the DM.
Whew.
So yeah, pretty fun.
Cool. All right, I got Walking Dead. I'm going.
You just had
Alright.
Walking Dead.
You just
You killed him.
you had,
I know it's
you had
awesome.
Unwalking Dead after the legs were gone.
It's crawling dead. Later, guys.
Cool.
All right,
I'll see
night.
you.
See ya.
I'm gonna